Hello, everyone. My name is Arriale Starbird. I'm a holistic health and fitness coach. So recently I made a few different videos showing my personal training methodology, which is different, although it overlaps with some training methodologies that I use with my clients. Obviously, it's also very different because my clients are not like me. They're training for their own goals. I have very high level fitness goals for myself. Most of my clients have health goals that are related to their overall health in their life. They want to succeed either in their career, in their family, they're resolving a serious health issue. They're not trying to be a professional athlete. They're not trying to become a personal trainer. They're trying to improve their quality of health in their life. However, some of the training methodologies which I use, for me, I'm like my own experiment, I then utilize with my clients. So I got into mixed martial arts very late in life. I started to study martial arts philosophy at around 36. And then I started to train in physical martial arts around 38. I'm now 44. And for the last 6 years, I've sort of been a style nomad, a gym nomad, going from different styles to different styles, trying to pick up skills because I really like the idea of integrating them into a holistic whole. That's kind of what my entire life and actually how I have designed my holistic model in my practice. It's always been holistic. So this idea of integrating different martial arts styles into a whole that works, that actually works in real life, that really resonated with me. So I've kind of been doing that on my own. And I've also ran track when I was in high school, and I've been a runner for 30 years. I'm not a sprinter. That was not my main event. I'm not necessarily a fast sprinter. My event was 400-meter dash and the mile relay. So I'm a medium distance runner. So I have a lot of endurance. I can run for a long time. I used to run for 2, 3, 4 hours. And that was my normal. And I enjoyed it. But you don't run fast when you run for a long time. So you pick a pace and then you stay at that pace for a considerable amount of time. I didn't run marathons. I kind of just ran for my own health because I had a lot of health challenges when I was younger also. So I used running and fitness and working out to heal my body. I'll make more videos on that later. My entire resume of my health issues. I don't know if you're interested, but it's very long. And I resolved a lot of those health issues that I had when I was younger with the health protocols that I've, some of them I created and a lot of them I learned. And then many of them I picked up from different schools of thought and I integrated. So like, for example, when I ran track in high school, my coach, she was old school military. I don't think she believed in using machines that much. She just believed in using body weight. And so that was really useful. But then if you go to any standard gym, there's a lot of machines. And as a personal trainer, I had to learn how to use these machines, even though initially I was very resistant to them because of my initial training. So what I find is that the warrior type of training appeals the most to me, which means that everything in your environment is part of your training. If you're in a gym full of machines, you have to know how to use the machines. If you're in nature and there's sticks and rocks, use that for your training. If you have nothing at all and all you have is your body weight, then use that for your training. And so now I kind of have designed my own style of training that is designed for me and my body and my needs. But like I said, a lot of that does apply to my clients because I've experimented so much on myself for all these years, and I found a lot of things that work, some things that don't work. I'm going to show you some of the things that I was doing in my training today, and I'm actually going to comment on it because one of my clients said that what's useful is to get the commentary as to not just what I'm doing, but why am I doing that, and also a little bit of the how. Sometimes if I'm just showing you the video, like for example, I'm shadowboxing in the park. People come up to me and ask me, what is this thing you're doing? They've never seen it. And I have to explain to them it's mixed martial arts. I'm sure they've seen martial arts movies, but I do so many things within my training. Even though, like for example, sprinting is not part of martial arts, but sprinting is great to do for MMA training. Stretching is great to do for MMA training. I used to do yoga. I think it's really important to be flexible. So I still do some of the yoga in my MMA training or for my MMA training. Weight training, resistance training, all of that is part of my training. And I just want to be clear, it's not because I'm confused and I just keep going between things. No, it's because I like to integrate everything. That is my style. That's how I like to, it's how I move through life. Everything that looks like it has some technology, intelligence, and skill in it, I like to integrate it or integrate the best parts of it, whatever I can, and integrate it into my medicine. That's what shamans call medicine. It's things that make you better. So everything I've moved through, I've studied a bit of Kung Fu, a bit of military-based self-defense, kickboxing, Muay Thai boxing, BJJ, Jeet Kune Do, a little bit of Kali. And I try to integrate the best things that work. So there are several parameters I judge by. One, does it make me healthier? Does it make me stronger? Two, would it help me win a fight? Those are the two main parameters. Three, does it have built-in injury prevention? Because something could work really well, but you could also seriously injure yourself doing it. So that would not be a good practice. I started doing all this because it's medicine, because it's healing. So you have to do all these things safely. And you have to figure out how to do them all safe. That's not obvious either. There are lots of people who do martial arts and they injure themselves if they're not careful. But the older martial artists, they didn't injure themselves. So they knew something that some of the younger guys don't know. Working and training really hard and end up hurting their health in the long run. So they're missing a lot of the younger people, they're so focused on the physical part, they're missing the holistic approach. And they're missing the medicine. They got the physical, they got the brutality part, they don't have the medicine part. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the medicine. The brutality, the violence, it can be useful because everything has to be weaponized. Everything has to be made into medicine and everything has to be weaponized. And both of those are two sides of the same coin. You can't have the violence without the medicine. You can't have the medicine without the violence. That's one of the philosophies of that I figured out in martial art. Whenever you're learning anything, it can be used to heal or to kill. Everything is a double-edged sword. That's why I have to be so careful with it. And it takes a long time to master it. So I'm going to show you the stuff that I did today, and I'm going to comment on it. My client said that it would be helpful if I made a video like this where I actually explained a little more what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. I didn't know that people, of all the videos that I ever made, it seems like people really just want to watch me work out. I never thought that would be the case, that people would be interested just in watching me work out. There's people who just stop by and watch me train, my students at the park, where they just stand there and watch me train. And that's fine. If people want to watch me train, I'm happy to demonstrate. It was always really personal to me that when I train, I don't like to train with anybody else because I don't want to hear anybody whining and complaining, because my workouts are hard. Nobody wants to work out for 2-3 hours usually. Only very, very few people. I don't know anyone who wants to work out like me. So for that reason, I've always trained alone. So I never actually thought that people would want to sit there and watch me train. But these are the videos that are getting the most views. So that's why I made a video showing you how I train, talking about a little bit more about how and why I do what I do. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm actually training in the park, and I have somebody in a, it's called shadow boxing. I have somebody in a clench. A clench is where you are holding your hands behind their back and you're kneeing them from the side or from the front. And it's very awkward because they're so close to you and you're trying to get that knee to make impact in their body. And then the idea here is that I'm trying to submit them. And so this is a BJJ submission. If you've never seen it, you won't know what I'm doing. But so then I do sprints. I actually run backwards. There's a scientific reason for it. And I design everything like a HIIT, high intensity interval training, where you move nonstop, basically. So I'll do some shadow boxing. Then I instead of going to the destination from which I start my sprints, I run to them. I run backwards, and then I start my sprint there. Stretches are very important. So here, this is a hip opening stretch. You got to do both ways. This is also basically a standing stretch on both sides. Stretch with both legs straight. Then you slightly bend your knee on either side and stretch like that. This is the frog stretch. This is from martial arts. It was actually a martial artist who met me in the park like 5 years ago who showed me the frog stretch. It was like, that's like the only thing he showed me. So this is the butterfly stretch, also a hip opener. All these are hip openers because in martial arts, when you're throwing a lot of kicks, you need to have very flexible hip joints. Hip and leg stretch. It's good to do these daily. This is shrimping from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Do as many as you can. There really isn't any specific number that you need to do. It depends on your goals. This is also, that's the same submission, but partial. This is like I'm halfway there, that I was doing in the park. This is something my sergeant major friend from the Army who taught me this exercise. If they're doing this in the Army, then I definitely want to be doing it. So this is the machines. I started to use more of the machines, and this is a way to isolate specific muscles. This is the battle ropes, standing fly with 12-pound weights. You can use smaller weights, heavier weights. So I love to do this one. This is like an all-body exercise, really. That's a 25-pound weight. You don't have to use you don't have to use any weight. You can just use your body weight with this. This is another really great exercise for BJJ, in case you have to grip gripping the person with your legs. You need really strong inner thigh muscles. This is a variation of a BJJ drill. I love this one. It's really hard when I first started doing it, and you got to twist your hips. So this is actually shadow boxing. I'm doing jab cross alternating with hook elbow. This is push-ups, but I actually did this for the first time. I was experimenting with different types of push-ups, and some where your elbows are closer to the body, and then some where it's out. They go out. There's really no right or wrong. These are different types of push-ups. And this is towards the end of my 2-hour workout, so I'm pretty tired at this point. So this is really good for boxing and kickboxing. There's a pivot in there, and there's an extension. That's a 25-pound weight. You don't have to use a 25-pound weight. This is good for balance. This is a 10-pound weight. I'm just showing you in case you don't want to use a 25-pound weight. You can use it. You don't have to use any weight at all. You can just use your arms. You can just extend your arms or use a resistance band. So this is where it's up and down. You can do it sideways, horizontal, vertical. You can do side to side. But this is good because is simulating a punch. This is simulating that extension is simulating a punch. So it's strengthening the shoulder in that area. If you like that, and if you find that helpful, if you want to see more videos of me training, explaining why I train how I train, comment, like, subscribe, and share, and comment, and tell me what specifically interests you. Why do you want to see these kinds of videos, and what specifically do you want to see? Because I do a variety of different things. That's about it. Stay blessed, not stressed.